yoga is a state of being. It's a frequency. And it's a state of being, again, the journey through the self to the self, where you're deliberate and conscious about the breath, deliberate and conscious about your thoughts. Let me start telling you some stories. How about that? In the form of the answer to the question, because everyone loves a good story, and I have plenty of stories to tell. And my stories are not about me. My stories are for you. So it's what I call sharing myself with you in the form of my life. And I'll tell you this one. There are many, many things that I've done with the body as the learning device for the mind in the practice of yoga. How about that? And if you kind of scroll through my history on whatever, Facebook and Instagram, you can start to see like, oh my God, right? Oh my God. I've done some of the deepest asanas in the history of all yoga of all time, 5,000 years, all lineages. Like, I don't really even know what to say about this journey I've had, except that it's been pretty extraordinary. And I'm never trying to show you, for example, look what I can do. It's not about that. When it comes to backbending, and I'm a little bit like the queen of the universe of backbending, I love to tell you, let me tell you what I've learned from doing it this way. Let me tell you what I've learned from doing it that way. And also the part that I'll tell you is this, is that I think, as far as I know, that I hold the world record for the world's longest backbend. And I want to tell you how that came to be and why it matters, again, because my stories are never about me, they're for you. Now, I was practicing and teaching a lot of original hot yoga, very, very, very yang based practice, which means affecting change by contracting at the edge, like you lengthen an extremity at full length, full strength, and then more, right? In stillness against gravity again, so that you become as strong as you are, flexible as you are strong, and they both increase together, and so on and so on. But then I started moving into a very, very, very yin based practice. And that means affecting change by surrendering at the edge, where the ingredient, the magic ingredients are time and relaxation. And immediately I recognized that this is not just a matter of doing different postures and holding them for different amounts of time. This is an entirely different consciousness with which you conduct your practice. So I said to myself, what if I were to conduct a very yang posture with a very yin consciousness? I thought, how long, for example, could I hold a wheel, which is where you just basically lie down on your back, bend your hands, your arms, and place your hands, and bend your knees and place your feet, nice inhale, exhale, and you push into a wheel shape off the floor. So now you're in a back bend on the floor. And I thought, how long could I hold that? Well, in class, a long hold would be about 1 minute. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go for 3 minutes. I just kind of picked a number out of thin air, set my clock, and I held it for 3 minutes. And it seemed really, challenging, but I'm like, game on, like, let's go. I did 3, I could do 5 for sure. So I kind of, the next day went to it, did 5, and then the fire was lit and I was all about it. So I knew I was going to kind of like train my way to 10 minutes. At first, train my way to 10 minutes. And so as I was doing this, not all in one day, but as a process, after about 7 minutes into this wheel, my mind started telling me, you can't, you're done, come out, that's long enough. Except that I was really equipped with some knowing that we are not our thoughts, and our thoughts are not true. And so when my mind at the 7-minute mark said to me, you cannot hold this anymore, you have to come out, I disregarded the thought. And I started just giving myself what I'm going to call some permissions. I started to shift the body weight just to relieve kind of the load from the lower body, from the upper body, from the right to the left, maybe relax my neck, face my breath, listen to some music, breathe. And lo and behold, the clock went off at 10 minutes. 3 minutes later, 3 minutes from the time when my mind said, you can't, I was still in it. That for me was good enough proof that we are not our experiential proof that we are not our thoughts and our thoughts are not true. And so the first thing I want to say to you, listeners, listen to me right here, right now. You are not your thoughts and your thoughts are not true. And when they tell you that they can't, they are not telling you the truth, right? So the body will do virtually anything that the mind commands. Every cell of the body is under the command of the neuroplasticity, send the command from the brain through the spine without the thought obstruction. And of course, we're going to do that with a lot of self-compassion and a lot of breath, right? So it's the way you practice. We're not here to punish ourselves. But again, it's that body is a learning device for the mind. So once I held that for 10 minutes, I wrote a long blog on it. And I remember in that blog, I said, felt like I was doing that wheel on the fault line of a 7.5 earthquake with spinal fluid dripping out of my third eye, all of my muscles trembling. But when I was done, I was stoked. And so then I'm like, okay, I'm going for an hour. I'm going for an hour now. I kind of like trained it. And eventually I held a wheel for an hour, and I'm going to call it an hour plus, just to make sure that I didn't short myself. That's filmed on video, posted all over social media and all the things. And so, but the bottom line is that the answer to the question is that self-cultivation leads to service. And that's a really good example of what I'm going to call self-cultivation.